Sorry to come at you bare-chested again. It's been a while since I've had my bare chest on camera, and if I hadn't have been doing it all last year, I wouldn't consider doing it in this moment. It doesn't feel right at all, but the way I'm struggling with my mental health and physical health, well, it's the same reason as before. I've just got to get over that feeling of being myself in this strange position again after taking a little break. I don't think I could ever get used to this. It's not my character. It's always at the back of my mind saying don't be bare-chested, but I'll get on to the topic in a second. Really tough, strange day today. Real challenge. I feel like I've been under the weather, or at least I've been fighting being under the weather for a while. I'll rephrase. My body and the pressure of my life have stopped me being under the weather, and I've been like, please just let me be ill, just let me have a cold, let me lie down and collapse like I can't move. My life hasn't allowed that. The pressure gets me up and active, but the way the strangeness of the day has occurred, the pressure's been there, and I've fought through it. I'm fighting through the most surreal, unimaginable things for myself that I could ever have thought I'd ever go through. Sorry, I'm just doing some late night feng shuiing my little front cabin at the boat. Pulled out some I pulled out my telescope. I bought a telescope, my dad's inheritance, and I haven't used it. The way I'm autistic about stuff, I've learnt to be patient with always absorbing and trying new things, because that's my nature, to just try new things and constantly. But I do it too quickly and life gets boring. And I've learnt to slow down. So I bought the telescope and I just left it in the flat, and it sat there. And I've managed to come onto the boat and like pretty much everything I own, and this isn't an understatement, there's so many thousands and thousands of pounds worth of stuff that's just broken. And somehow the telescope has sat there under the front of the boat where I sleep. And I pulled it out now, and I don't know if it works. I think it might. I think my luck is still in with it, but I've got a skylight here, and maybe it was the universe breaking all the technology, because I can't believe the bad luck I've had with it. It's just like, it must be the universe doing it to me. It's like, right, Andres, time to grow up. No more computers, and well, I didn't really do anything on computers. I just wasted a lot of hours, but it was my hobby, and they've all, I can't say it, the amount of, I'm in pain from the breakage, but at the same time I'm standing here and I see the beauty and the possibility of the stillness that lies ahead for my life, slowly moving around the canal network, cleaning this window and using that telescope to stare up at the lazy ass bastards in the sky that don't come down here and help us when we're in need of help. And it was like a realization I had today, because things have been so intense. I've been on the phone to my uncle, Whenever you hear me, if you ever hear me reference me contacting my family, it means that my life is just too serious, and I've had to humble myself and say, right, well, back to contacting the family and asking for help. That's the only time I call them. I'm very fickle in the love I have for them. Underneath that love is there, but the relationships have all broken down over recent years due to my mental health, due to the collective psychosis. So in the media, there's no love from me, not really. Underneath that love's never going to die. That love is like, it's blood, it's beyond everything. So in other words, it will always come through. In the interaction, there's something missing. But it is what it is, and I've had to call my uncle, and he's tried to talk me through stuff, and at the same time I'm recalibrating my life, figuring out how I can restructure it, what I can do. And on one level, I've died recently. I've died to myself, I've died to my past, I've died to being a child in this world, and I've almost been asked to stand up and be at work, be of service, and I've said okay to that. And I realised today I need to restructure my mentality and not look at it like a death, which it is. But within that death there's a new life. And the new life is well, this is what needs to be formed within me. I need to really be clear how there's new life, how this role I'm gonna partake within now, in service to humanity. That's what my mind is saying. What it's gonna look like. And once I'm a bit clearer how it's gonna look, I can make peace with it. And when I make peace with it and accept it, I can, with foresight now, I can structure something that looks like life. Life is found wherever we are on this planet, all human beings. Some people have a lot, some people don't. Some people have a lot of challenges, some people don't. But it's all life with the right mentality, and that's what I've got to see. And once I see that, I think that's what that was the long and short of it. But anyway, it's been a real pressured restructuring of my life and my mind today. And then this evening, fighting my physical and mental health, finished from the phone to my uncle, telling him how I believe I'm being attacked by reptilian entities. I'm serious, but anyway, that's for another day. I flick through Facebook, and the first thing I see is I'm gutted to say it, man. I can't say it. Through my mental health, you know, like, what's his name? Played in Toy Story, like the lead character, Tom Hanks, when he played that movie Castaway. That's it, the Castaway. I forgot the movie name. And he had that ball with him, Wilson, and he used to talk to that ball. Well, I've been alone through my mental health for many years, and really, not only that, as I'm saying it now, it's coming to me. I'm realising what it means to me. But in essence, the Thich Nhat Hanh, he was like pretty much the top spiritual guy for planet Earth, other than the Dalai Lama. Passed away last night. It said the 22nd, which is tomorrow, or 3 hours ago, sorry, he passed away, but it must have been the day before, it couldn't have been another time. And it really got me. It got me because that was my introduction to spirituality. And my life is spirituality. And all of the madness, everything underlying it is spirituality. I live for spirituality. People live for sex. I don't think I could be, unless I get amnesia, and then I know in my spirit it will still come back. I don't think I could ever be separated from it. And really, my introduction to spirituality, other than going to a yoga show by myself in London, was taking myself to France, getting lost on the way there. There's a whole story about it. Getting to France and having a meditation retreat. He wasn't there at the time, but I connected with his energy. I connected with the simplicity of his message, the way he communicated, and he taught me to communicate as somebody who's self-diagnosed autistic at the age of, 34, 35. He helped me with understanding communication, and I explored communication by myself in the spiritual practice, and his words, guided me through that, and that was the formation of my spirituality. And he passed away. And then in my mental health years, I've been alone. I've barely spoken to people. You can't imagine, for somebody that lives in London, the amount of communication I've had with people. If you take away the questions I've been asked by doctors and healthcare professionals, just blank questions, I've barely said a word. It's just like these live streams, me coming alive again. And in these last few years, where I'm just becoming okay with where I'm at, and not fearing being a little bit mad, because I fought madness for years. I was the most sane person, most straight person going. I'm autistic with a mental health disorder. And only in the acceptance of the mental health disorder did I relax and allow a little bit of madness back in. And I can't remember when it began to happen. Well, I know when it happened, but he got me through the darkest time of my life. This is the darkest time now. This is just beyond anything, but I had that experience. So there was the darkest time of my life like 4 years ago. And now I'm going through a darker period. I've still got that as a memory. And it's somehow never going to be as bad as that, because I was going into that with like a child. And it was brutal, it was physical, it was gruesome. And I used to play the Great Bell Chant by the Thich Nhat Hanh to get me through it. And the bottom line with that was that he basically says, other than the whole little track being absolutely beautiful and calming, which was exactly what I needed, well, what he says in it is like, it's the end of suffering. Listen to this, and within this is the message to end suffering. And I was suffering then. And I don't know what, you'll have to get some top psychologist to figure this out and what took place, but it really imprinted on me. And in the last few years, where I've not been afraid to venture into just a little bit of madness, I'm still straight line, you can't believe it, under all of this and all of the madness on the outside. But I've learned how madness is helping, how madness soothes and helps that straightness, because that straightness to this world is like, oh, Mr. Status Quo, come in. But now looking back at it, I can see how much that was just as much as mental health disorder as this madness. And this helps that. They're polarized against each other. And this still needs a lot of work, but I began to speak to myself. And in essence, the Thich Nhat Hanh became Wilson. I mean, I've got a few Wilsons. They're my family members, mostly. Mostly my uncle. When it's a good day, my dad. But the way the Thich Nhat Hanh became Wilson for me was, I just called him my mate Titch. The Thich Nhat Hanh became my mate Titch. And in a strange way, I won't even go into it, he preceded that dark experience, the way he's affected my life. And as things have been challenging more and more through this dark period, I've been saying it more and more, my mate Titch. I say, how you doing, Titch? Just, it's to thin air. Thanks, Titch. And it's like I feel him with me, you know? And I've sort of knew, in a way, that he was going to pass soon. I've known it for like the past month or two. And in some way, my mental health says, oh, you're connected with that. And I might be. The way my life is that surreal, I might be, but I cried. I shed a tear. I'm not normally emotional. I know it's hard to see that and understand that from these videos, but I know that within myself. The emotion that I express is just like a pure laziness to constraining my expression. Within me, I'm ice cold. I don't get emotional, and today I got emotional. I shed a tear that he passed. And it's really where I'm weak, that tear sort of allowed that cold to sort of steep in and come into my body. And that cold is healing. Can you imagine getting a cold and it being healing to your life? Because my life is so much the other way. It's so pressured, it's so insane that I've got a cold. I'm like, yes, I can feel my body, like I can feel the aches, I can still feel the pressure, but I'm gonna put some herbal tea on now to remedy it, because I can deal with a cold. I can't deal with the pressure. You know, I can work from it. I can work my body from this angle. I can't work from it with it from the other way. So anyway, I've got off track, but that's been my day, and it's been a real insane day, and I'm in pain, and I'm finally getting to work at like 11 o'clock at night. I've been trying since the morning to get on and be active, and I'm finally getting around to it like 11 o'clock at night. So I'm moving stuff about, pulling out electronical devices. I've decided my life's saying it's okay to start using the telescopes. I've pulled that out, and I've got YouTube on, and it's I don't know if for those of you that are English, James Corden, he's gone off to the States, and he's in California with a late night show, and I listen to it sometimes, and he was on it, and it was really weird. I can't remember how it happened. What was he going to say? What did he say? Basically, I reference a collective psychosis. I reference that I'm at work for us all. And in the back of my mind, I pray and I hope that you'll stop acting one day. And you come out of the shadows and you say, it's over, Andreas. It's over. And I envision, all this being hard work for you all somehow. That's what my mental health tells me. That's how that alarm is for the Thich Nhat Hanh's passing ceremony at 3 o'clock. So I'm hoping not to miss. I'll go more longer than that. But where I'm hoping that one day all of this madness will be over, one of the ways I envision that being over is like just masses of people coming out of nowhere, just giving me a round of applause. And James Corden's on, and he said, "Can you hear that? Can you hear that?" He said something like, "It's over. It's over. Can you hear the people?" And at the same time, I've got a little vent on the window, and I don't normally have it open, but I had it open. And a train was going past. And it was like, the way it timed up, and the way I'm so weak and beaten by life, it was like, oh my God, it's happening now. The people are coming out. I thought it was over, man. I thought my suffering was over. For a split second. Maybe it's a glimpse for the future. But remembering Titch's message to me, it's possible to end suffering. So I have something to live for. I also have a lovely telescope with a great view. Rest in peace, my mate Titch.